I visited the Temple of Poseidon many times over the years, in every season, both by land and by sea. And in this video, I want to show you all the different ways you can experience one of Greece's most iconic landmarks. We'll admire the temple from above, drive along the breathtaking Athenian Riviera coastal road, explore the archaeological site, discover the nearby Sanctuary of Athena, and finish the day arriving by sailboat, just as countless sailors have done for thousands of years. And don't leave just yet, because later in the video we'll continue to nearby Lavrio and the Archaeological Museum, where you'll discover how the silver hidden beneath these hills helped finance the rise of classical Athens. Standing nearly 60 meters above the Aegean Sea, the Temple of Poseidon has welcomed travelers for over 2,500 years. But this dramatic headland has been sacred for much longer. Homer mentions Cape Sounion in the Odyssey, and according to the ancient traveler Pausanias, Deucalion, the mythical survivor of the Great Flood and the father of Helen, the legendary ancestor of the Greeks, founded an early sanctuary here. Over the century, this windswept promontory became one of the most important sacred places in Attica before the magnificent Temple of Poseidon was built during the Golden Age of Athens. Whether you arrive by car along one of Greece's most scenic coastal drives or by boat across the sparkling waters of the Saronic Gulf, your first glimpse of the temple rising above the cliffs is an unforgettable sight. Surrounded by the sea on three sides, it's easy to understand why the ancient Greeks chose this spectacular promontory to honor Poseidon, the god of the sea. If you're visiting by car, which is one of the best ways to experience the whole area, there are two parking levels available just outside the archaeological site. Spaces are limited, however, especially during the summer season, and tourist buses usually drop visitors at the upper parking area before continuing on. Right next to the entrance, you'll also find a cafe overlooking the Temple of Poseidon. It's the perfect place to enjoy a coffee or a refreshing drink while taking in one of the most spectacular coastal panoramas in Greece. The temple you see today dates to around 440 BC, during the Golden Age of Athens under Pericles. It replaced an earlier sanctuary that had been destroyed by the Persians before it was ever completed. Originally, this headland was far more than a single temple. Archaeologists have discovered that Sounion was already an important sanctuary during the geometric period, centuries before the classical temple was built. It was also surrounded by powerful defensive walls, transforming the cape into both a sacred sanctuary and a strategic fortress protecting the entrance to Attica and the nearby silver mines of Lavrio. As you walk through the sanctuary, notice how the temple dominates the landscape from every angle. Originally, it was surrounded by 34 Doric columns. Today, 16 columns are preserved, creating one of the most recognizable silhouettes in Greece. The temple was built using locally quarried marble from nearby Agrileza. Above the colonnade, an elaborate sculptural frieze once depicted legendary battles between the gods and giants. Although the frieze no longer survives on the temple itself, several of its remarkable fragments are preserved and displayed at the Archaeological Museum of Lavrio. One of the columns also bears the famous signature of the English Romantic poet Lord Byron, who visited Cape Sounion in 1810 during his travels through Greece. Many visitors don't realize that this wasn't the only sanctuary at Cape Sounion. Just a short walk from the Temple of Poseidon stood the Sanctuary of Athena. Originally built during the Archaic period and later rebuilt after the Persian Wars, it formed part of a much larger sacred landscape where different gods were worshipped side by side. Together, these sanctuaries transformed Cape Sounion into one of the most important religious centers of ancient Attica. While most visitors experience Cape Sounion by road, there's another unforgettable way to arrive. If you're sailing around the Saronic Gulf or departing from nearby Lavrio, stopping beneath the Temple of Poseidon is an experience unlike any other. We joined friends aboard their sailing boat and departed from Piraeus. The journey takes a couple of hours, making it a wonderful full-day adventure on the water. During the summer months, especially on weekends, it's common to see Greeks setting sail for the day, dropping anchor in hidden coves, swimming in crystal clear waters, and enjoying lunch on board before continuing along the coast. Seeing the temples slowly appear above the cliffs from the sea offers a completely different perspective. It reminds you that this sanctuary was never designed to impress visitors arriving by road. For thousands of years, it welcomed sailors returning home, standing as a symbol of protection, hope, and safe passage across the Aegean. One of my favorite stories connected to Cape Sounion is the myth of how the Aegean Sea got its name. According to Greek mythology, King Aegeus waited here for his son Theseus to return from Crete after defeating the Minotaur. Forgetting to replace the black sails of mourning with white ones, Theseus unknowingly led his father to believe he had perished. Heartbroken, Aegeus threw himself from the very cliffs into the sea below, which has been known ever since as the Aegean Sea. At the Temple of Poseidon, you're bound to experience one of the most remarkable sunsets in Greece. You'll find my recommendations for the best Cape Sounion tours in the description box below. From Cape Sounion, we continue toward Lavrion. Today, the town is known for its marina and port, especially during the summer months when many sailing boats use it as a mooring point before heading into the Cyclades. But Lavrion's history goes back thousands of years. Its silver mines played a crucial role in the power and wealth of ancient Athens. Walking through Lavrion today, you still feel traces of its industrial maritime identity everywhere. And one of the best places to understand the area's importance is the Archaeological Museum of Lavrio. Inside the museum, you begin to understand that Lavrion was far more than a simple mining town. Thousands of years ago, Lavrion and the nearby Thorikos formed one of the most important industrial and cultural landscapes of the ancient world. Thorikos itself is considered one of the earliest settlements in Attica, and according to tradition, one of the original settlements united by Theseus to form ancient Athens. Ancient stories link the area to Kephalos and Procris, while the Homeric hymn to Demeter mentions Thorikos as the place where the goddess arrived during her journey from Crete to Eleusis. At the center of the ancient settlement rises Velatori Hill, an area inhabited continuously for centuries. Archaeologists discovered traces of late Neolithic settlements, Mycenae tombs, workshops, early houses, and evidence that silver extraction was already taking place here during prehistoric times. Inside the museum, you'll see remarkable findings from the graves of Velatori, dating back from the geometric, archaic, and classical periods, including beautifully preserved vases, sculptures, and burials from the 5th and 4th centuries BC that reveal the prosperity of this mining community. In the center of the museum, there is a wonderfully restored mosaic floor from an early Christian basilica at Lavrion, which dates to the 4th and 5th century AD. And what becomes especially fascinating is realizing just how advanced the ancient Athenians truly were. They developed sophisticated ore washeries, underground mining shafts, metallurgical furnaces, and eventually minted the famous silver tetradrachms, iconic owl coins that became symbols of Athenian power across the ancient world. In fact, one of the most important hoards of Athenian tetradrachms, consisting of 282 silver coins, was discovered right here in Thorikos. Standing among these artifacts, you realize that Lavrion was not simply supplying silver. It was helping shape the economic, political, and cultural foundations of classical civilization itself. Steps from the museum stands the statue of Giovanni Battista Serpieri. He was an Italian-Greek mining engineer and entrepreneur who revived the Lavrion mines during the 19th century after recognizing valuable minerals still remained within the ancient slag heaps. His work transformed the area economically and industrially, although not without controversy and political debate at the time. Today, Lavrion still carries the fascinating mix of antiquity, neoclassical architecture, industry, and coastal life. And around the center, you'll find several relaxed fish taverns where you can stop for a leisurely lunch. Thorikos is a short drive from the town of Lavrion, and it's one of the oldest theater sites in Greece, so naturally we had to continue there next. Good day, guys. We're standing right in the center of the ancient theater of Thorikos. This is actually one of the world's oldest known theaters, and it's a free archaeological site. It's located very close to Lavrio and the Temple of Poseidon. It has huge significance with the quarries and the silver that was found here, the little coins that I'll show you in the video. And you can visit it for free, actually. It's a beautiful site, and as you can see, there's actually a lot of grass covering parts of the theater now because it rained a lot this season and it's quite green. So if you come in the summer, I guess it's not going to be as green. But anyways, come and enjoy. The Theatre of Thorikos is believed to be one of the oldest theatres in the Greek world, dating back to the late 6th century BC. Unlike the perfectly symmetrical theatres we often associate with ancient Greece, Thorikos has a unique horseshoe shape built directly into the natural slope of Velaturi Hill. What makes this place especially fascinating is that it was not separated from the everyday life. Around the theater there were houses, workshops, roads, and even mining galleries, revealing how closely culture and industry coexisted in ancient Thorikos. A small temple dedicated to Dionysos, the god of theater, once stood beside the western entrance, while nearby silver mines helped finance the rise of classical Athens itself. Standing here today, surrounded by the rugged landscape of Lavriotiki, you begin to understand that this was not only a mining settlement, it was a thriving cultural community connected to the foundations of ancient Greek civilization. We ended our day with lunch at Anemokiti tou Tarsana, located right next to the kite surfing beach. The atmosphere here is very relaxed and unpretentious. Portions are very generous, seafood is incredibly fresh, and the owner clearly enjoys experimenting with flavors and sauces. One of the standout dishes was the mussels cooked in feta and coriander sauce, and honestly it was fantastic. We also had beautifully grilled shrimp and scallops prepared simply with olive oil. It's the kind of place where you sit longer than planned because everything just feels really easy and relaxed. In the summer, it gets very busy, therefore reservations are highly advised. If you look on Google, this taverna gets mixed reviews. Let's just say the owner is a character, but you are guaranteed an excellent meal. As we end our journey, enjoy these incredible FPV drone views soaring above the Temple of Poseidon at sunset. One final chance to appreciate the beauty of this remarkable place from a whole new perspective. If you're planning your own visit, you'll find all the information about the archaeological site, tickets, and the tours I recommend in the description box below. If you enjoyed exploring Cape Sounion Lavrio with me, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and join me for more adventures across the Athenian Riviera. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.